Welcome back, Renegades. Today we're going to be doing the deck profile for Marnie's Rival Battle deck. All matches will be timestamped in the description. If you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel tremendously. All right, let's get into it. All right, so today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do a Pokemon deck tech here. This is Marnie's Rival Battle deck coming out soon, if it's not already released by the time you guys are watching this. So Marnie is a dark type gym leader. So she has 4 copies of her Impidimp, has a colorless energy Filch, which is draw a card, or for 1 darkness, you can Corkscrew Punch for 10. Weakness times 2 with a 1 cost retreat. It is a 70 HP Pokemon, basic type. We're running 3 copies of her Morgrim. This is the evolution. 2 dark, 60 damage with single 1 retreat cost as well. And we're evolving all the way up into Grimmsnarl EX. And there's 2 copies of this in the deck. Has an ability, Punk Up. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may search your deck for 5 basic dark energy cards and attach them to your Marnie's Pokemon in any way that you like, then shuffle your deck. For 2 dark, has Shadow Bullet for 180 damage, and then this attack also does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, but don't apply weaknesses or resistance for bench Pokemon. This one does have 2 retreat cost, and it being an EX, your opponent will take 2 prize cards when knocked out. Morpeko, which is like her main Pokemon, a basic 70 HP for 3 colorless, has Spiky Wheel, 20 plus damage, and it does an additional 40 damage for each dark energy attached to this Pokemon, and it has a free retreat, so you could bring it up and bring it back as needed. We're running, Purloin. It has 2 copies of it. It's 1 dark energy for 20 plus damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon EX, this attack does 40 more damage with 1 retreat cost. And then it evolves into her Leopard for 2 dark energy, has Pointy Claws 70 plus. So if your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon EX, it does an additional 70 damage. So 140 for 2 energy is pretty good, with a 1 retreat cost as well, 100 HP. We have her Scraggy here, running 2 copies. 2 dark and a colorless for Crunch. It does 50 damage and discards an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. And with a single retreat cost at 70 HP, that evolves into her Scrafty. 1 copy in the deck. It's 1 dark energy for Rear Kick, 40 damage. 2 dark and a colorless. Do Wild Tackle, 160 damage. But it also does 30 damage to itself. And this one does have a double colorless retreat cost, so keep that in mind. Moving over into the items, we have Buddy Puppin, 3 copies. This searches your deck for 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less and puts it right onto your bench. And then you get to shuffle your deck. This helps fill your bench up for your evolutions, which is really good. 3 copies there. A single copy of Energy Recycler. You get to shuffle 5 of your basic energy cards from your discard pile back into your deck, which is great for when you got Grimmsnarl coming down. You'll have those energies back in the deck to redistribute among your Pokemon. 3 copies of Rare Candy. Choose one of your basic Pokemon in play. If you have the stage 2 in your hand that evolves from that Pokemon, you can put it onto the basic Pokemon to evolve it, skipping to stage 1. You can't use this card during your first turn or on a basic Pokemon that was put into play this turn. This card only is used for Grimmsnarl EX, being able to go straight from Impidimp into Grimmsnarl. It's pretty powerful. It has 3 copies of it. 1 copy of Super Rod. You get to shuffle 3 and any combination of Pokemon and basic energy from your discard pile back into your deck. Once again, just kind of refilling your deck for Grimmsnarl. Or if you're missing an evolution line somewhere, just a good way to recycle it back in. 2 copies of Switch. You get to switch, it's exactly what it says. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. Because like Scrafty has a high retreat cost, so being able to maneuver your Pokemon around as needed comes in handy. 2 copies. 4 copies of Ultra Ball. You can use this card only if you discard 2 other cards from your hand. And you get to search for any Pokemon you want in your deck, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. Like I said, this is just good to be able to make sure you're getting those pieces you need when you need them. So 4 copies there. The Stadium. This is Spikemoth Gym, which is her gym. Once during each player's turn, that player may search their deck for a Marnie's Pokemon, reveal it, and put it in their hand. Then that player shuffles their deck. The stadium is really good. Like I said, just more consistency to the deck, being able to find the pieces you need or fill the bench as needed. It's running 2 copies, so good stadium there. Into supporters, we have 2 copies of Boss's Orders. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. Now, one key thing about supporters is you can only play one supporter card during your turn. So if you have multiple supporters, make sure you're playing the most beneficial in that situation. So 2 copies here. Drayton, running 3 copies of Drayton. Also a supporter. This one allows you to look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You can reveal a Pokemon and a trainer card that you find there and put them into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. So all those item cards, supporters, they're trainers. So it'd be up here in the top right hand corner. But it is a supporter, 3 copies. 2 copies of Iono. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but it is supporter, Iono. Each player shuffles their hand and puts it onto the bottom of their deck. If either player puts any cards on the bottom of their deck in this way, each player draws a card for each of the remaining prize cards. So this card will help you when you're behind and your opponent has taken multiple prize cards from you. Then you'll be able to try to get a little bit more advantage to come back into the game. Like I said, this is a supporter, so only 1 per turn. 4 copies of Professor's Research. This is just a clean discard your hand, draw 7 cards. If you don't have any cards in your hand, even better, you're still drawing 7. It is supporter, so just a 1 of, but we are running 4 copies. Pokemon Tool, also a trainer. Experience share. When your active Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, you may move a basic energy from that Pokemon to the Pokemon this card is attached to. The keynote here about Pokemon tools, you may attach any number of Pokemon tools to your Pokemon during your turn, similar to items, but you may only attach 1 Pokemon tool to each Pokemon, and it stays attached. So you can't like stack up multiple tools onto the same Pokemon, just a single copy in the deck. And to wrap the deck up, we are running 14 basic Dark Energy with Grimmsnarl's ability. We really want to have the basic energy here to fulfill the ability of his. So overall, this is the Marnie's rival battle deck. Let's get into some gameplay and see how this plays out of the box. Going against a fire deck here. We're going to go first here. We have to take a mulligan here because we have no basic Pokemon, so we have to wait for the opponent. All right, finally got one here. We're going to lead off with Purloin and put Impidimp in the back. Opponent can draw their extra cards if they wish to. Because we have the Leopard to evolve into Purloin, and we also have Morgrim. Alright, so you have the Charmander in the front. They're going to put 1 on. So the only problem here, we're going to put another Purloin in the back, is if they... Oh, they're not going to be... Alright, we're good. We're going to pass turn. I was saying if they were able to rare candy into their Charizard immediately, but we're going first, so we should be able to take this Charizard, our Charmander out with our Leopard. Alright, opponent's still selecting cards with the Ultra Ball. So I have a Pidgey on the backfield, Charmander, and a Rellor. Alright, another Buddy Puffin. Alright, just filling their bench up. Alright, over to us. Alright, so we have Grimmsnarl. So we're going to put another energy on our Purloin, Evolve, our Leopard, and our Impidimp into Morgrim. Part of me wants to shuffle the hand to give us more options. I think we're going to. Alright, good. We got the Grimmsnarl back. We're going to use Buddy Puffin. We're going to just kind of fill our bench as well. So, Ultra Ball. We could Ultra Ball, but we're not going to. Alright, so we're just going to use Pointy Claw attack on the Charmander. We do get to take it out. Alright, so they move up Rellor to the front. Fluttermane, okay. Alright, so they're just going to draw a card as their attack, which is fine. Another Darkness Energy. We're going to put it on our Morpeko. We're going to evolve our Grimmsnarl. We're going to use the Punk Up and get 5 energy. We're going to put 2 on to our Grimmsnarl EX. We're going to put onto Morpeko, and then we will also put another one on, put on Scraggy. We're going to use the Ultra Ball here Getting rid of some cards so we can go and find... Let's go find Scrafty. And now we're going to use our Professor's Research to trash our energy to draw a bunch of cards. We're going to use our gym. And let's find ourselves another Leopard, maybe? No, we don't have one of those. We'll grab Grimmsnarl. I do believe we have a rare candy in hand. Yes. Alright, so can we rare candy already? If we can, we will. Cool. Yeah, we're going to use Punk Up again. Taking more energy out of the deck. So we're going to put the 2 on Grimmsnarl, 3 on Scrafty, and then 1 more on Morpeko. And then we're just going to hit for 70. Taking out the Pokemon here and getting another prize card. So we got Energy Recycler, which is decent. As you can see, our Pokemon are... We put 10 energy across the field this turn, which is pretty insane. So their opponent's going to play Super Rod just to recycle some energy or Pokemon. A little bit of mix of both back into the deck. We only have 1 energy in the trash right now, or the discard pile. Alright, so that's pretty good. They did get the rare candy, which is going to go into the Charizard right here, the front line. And now they get to go get 3 energy out of their deck and put it on their Pokemon any way they like. We know 2 will be on the Charizard. And we'll see where they put the 3rd one on a Pidgey. So they will be able to take out our Purloin here, which is fine. We'll bring up our Grimmsnarl. We're going to put EXP share onto our Morpeko. So now we have 3 energy in the trash. Let's use Super Rod. Let's get a Purloin and 2 energy. Our Leopard and 2 energy, sorry. And now we'll use our stage to go find our Leopard. Evolve our Purloin. Up to 5 energy. We only got 1 left in there. Buddy Puffin, not that good. We could Ultra Ball, but what are we really looking for? Let's go Drayton. We'll grab a Research and a Morgrim. Guess at this point we could... Let's Ultra Ball these 2 so we can get a Impidip again. And then we'll play that down. Now we're going to attack for 180. We're going to do 30 to this Pidgey that has the energy on it. So their Pokemon's going to do 180 plus 60, so 240 minimum. And then they have that 50 power boost item, I believe, right there. So this is going to be a pretty big hit, but I don't think it's going to be enough to take it out. Yeah, 290 damage, that's pretty good. Rare Candy doesn't really do anything. I don't really know if we want the Professor's Research at this point, because, like, I mean, I guess it's energy. We could look for energy, I guess. Alright, we can do that. And we'll put an energy on Morpeko. Just kind of filling that up a little bit. Let's see, it does 40 for each energy, so 20, 80, so 80, 160. I mean, that's probably pretty good, right? That gonna be enough to do it? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 200 damage plus 220 damage. Okay, so we're gonna bring up Morpeko. And then we're going to hit for 220 damage into this Charizard. Taking it out. And then we'll get 2 energy cards. And then if they do take out Morpeko, they're only getting 1 prize card from us. And this also gives us an option to bring up a more HP Grimmsnarl from the bench. Okay, so they did get rid of our gym, which is kind of unfortunate because I do believe we trashed the other one. Yep. Because I was having the Morgrim set up that if they did get rid of the Grimmsnarl, we'd be able to search it back out and replay it. But, alright, we got it. Alright, looks like we're going to be going against a Dragon-type deck here. Waiting for the opponent to call the coin flip. Your opponent won the coin flip and then decided who goes first. Opponent's choosing to go first here. We have our basic Impidimp. We have no other basics, but we do have a Buddy Puffin, which will allow us to find 2 basics. Alright, so get a little peek at what's going on here. Dragapult EX. Okay. Yeah, we'll take that extra card. Duskull. Put 3 Duskull from your discard pile onto your bench. Come and get you. That's cool. And Mumble for 30. Alright, so I'm going to use their Ultra Ball here. Getting a Dreepy. They're going to play down, I guess that's the basic version. Yep. 70 HP. Psychic Fire. Alright, so over to us. I did put the energy on the Dreepy. So boss's orders. We're going to put an energy on our Marnie's Impidimp. Then we're going to use the effect here. We're going to grab a Purloin and a Scraggy, because we have a way of evolving here. So boss's orders, I think we're going to put their little Dreepy up front, just so we can start putting some damage on it. And then we'll just pass it over to the opponent. Next turn we'll be able to evolve into Morgrim if they don't take it out. And then also Leopard can go into Purloin. Alright, so they just did 10 damage to us, so that's all they could do. Alright, over to us. So we do have our evolution here. Gonna use this. Evolve here. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to use the Professor's Research. Just looking for something. Alright, we got the second energy we needed for Morgrim. We'll put down another Impidimp. More Pika. We do have the Super Rod we can put. We don't need to put anything back in there yet. So the Puffin, I'm not really worried about. So we're just gonna attack for 60. Take this guy out. And then we'll just take a prize card. Another Scraggy. Alright, so opponent pulls up their Dust Skull. Activating a Buddy Puffin. So they got a Natu and another Dreepy. Put in their energy on Dreepy. Alright, they're just kind of bait. Okay, the main thing here, they're trying to get this guy to evolve all the way up. So they're essentially just pushing things up for us to take out until they get their big guy. So we're going to use his ability Punk Up. We get 5 basic energy here. So this guy already has it. We're going to put 2 on Purloin. Let's put the other 3 on Scraggy. Let's put 1 on Impidimp just to be on the safe side. Alright, so we're going to use Ultra Ball here. We're going to get rid of Scraggy and the Buddy Puffin so that we can grab... What do we want? Let's grab Scrafty so we can evolve our guy. And then we'll go Drayton. I think we're going to grab this one. And debating between the research. Let's see. What do we got on the... We got 1 card. Yeah, maybe we should go... The rare candy doesn't do any good right now. So let's just grab the research. And then we can evolve our Morgrim. So yeah, we're going to use the Super Rod here. Just to put these Pokemon back into our deck. That way we have just no real thing to worry about with the research. We're going to use the attack here. Shadow Bullet, that's 180. Then we're going to put 30 on the Dreepy on their bench here. Let's take another prize card. Getting on rare candy. Alright, so they bring up Natu. So what do they got? I think really got much in there. Alright, so they're going to use an Ultra Ball here. They're getting their evolution card now. This has an ability. Once per turn, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one of them in your hand, and put the other at the bottom of the deck. Okay. So a little bit of filtering for them so they can try to find their main guy, top end. Be nice if we could draw another boss's order, bring this guy up and take it out. There is 2 copies in the deck, so. Alright, so just another energy here. I think that's fine. We're just going to put it on our Morgrim. And we're just going to use Professor's Research. Give us a fresh cards. Alright, we're going to go Grimmsnarl EX. We are going to use the Punk Up ability. We'll grab the 4 left in our deck. We're going to give Scrafty 1 so he can use his effects. And then more Pika will get the rest. Nothing really I want to do with what's in my hand. I don't really need to bring anything else out. So we're just going to attack. We're going to do 180 and then we're going to hit the guy in the back again. So he's up to 60 damage. Take another prize card. Got another energy, which is good. As you can see, this deck here can, once you get the Grimmsnarl out, it feeds your rest of your Pokemon the energy pretty effectively. We have a lot of cards in hand, but nothing really needed. We're probably going... I don't want to use Iona right now just because it can give them a lot of cards back. So they're going to rare candy, trashing it. Okay, to use Earthen Vessel. Allows them to search their deck for 2 basic energy. Alright, so they're getting a Fire and Psychic type. Assuming the Psychic energy for this guy. Draw Cloak. Alright, over to us. Ultra Ball. Not really needed either. We're just... I don't know. We really don't have. I guess we're gonna put the energy on Morpeko just because it gets a little bit of a power boost for each energy attached to it. Let's use Buddy Buddy Puppin. We're gonna let's grab Purloin. And then we're going to use Drayton. We're gonna grab the evolution form of that and Boss's Orders. So there's really nothing we can do with this hand. But we're just gonna clean it up here anyways. We're gonna go 180 here and 30 to the backfield, taking out both of their Pokemon. And we'll take our prize cards and we'll win because the opponent doesn't have no bench. Alright, good game. Looks like we're in the mirror match here. Opponent gets to call the coin flip. Opponent gets heads, so they can decide who goes first. They want to go first, which makes sense. I'm assuming so they can evolve first. We have one. Alright, we got Scraggy. We do have a Buddy Buddy Puppin, which is good, and we do have Ultra Ball, so we should be able to get our Grimmsnarl down pretty quickly. Alright, so Purloin as a lead and Impidimp in the back. Okay. Alright, opponent's going to play down Morpeko. And the gym, which is good, because then we can utilize it as well. Alright, so they got more Grims, so they're going to evolve the long way. Alright, one on the energy on Purloin, and over to us. Alright, so we draw another energy. We're going to use Buddy Buddy Puppin first. So we don't have... I guess we kind of got everything we need, right? Alright, put up more P.E.K.K.A down, more Pico. We're going to search. Then we're going to grab Grimmsnarl. Going to put one on the Scraggy. And we're just going to end turn. Alright, they're evolving their Impidimp into Morgrim. Activating their Stadium. Alright, they're getting their Grimmsnarl as well. Playing out a Drayton. Allows them to look at top 7 of their deck. They can reveal Pokemon and a trainer card. Put them in their hand, the rest at the bottom of their deck. Or shuffle the rest of the cards back into their deck. So they got a Scraggy and Iono. Playing down the Scraggy. And hitting our Scraggy for 20 damage. Alright, over to us. So we do get the Leopard here, which is cool. So we're going to use the gym. We're going to grab... Let's grab another Impidimp. Play that out. Let's put an energy on Morpeko. We're going to use our rare candy here to evolve into our Grimmsnarl. And yes, we're going to use the ability Punk Up. I'm going to grab 5 energy here. So we need to put 2 on Grimmsnarl. Got to put 3 on Morpeko. Let's put 1 more on Scraggy. We're going to retreat Scraggy here so we can bring up Grimmsnarl. And then we're just going to hit for 180. And we're going to do 30 damage to the Morpeko. So we did get a switch from our prize cards. Alright, so they move up more Grim, which we know they're going to play Grimmsnarl next. There's argument that we should have maybe hit this one. Now they're going to use their Punk Up ability to add a bunch of energy. Using their gym now. So they grabbed another Impidimp. They can start building a second one in the back. An Iono, which is good because we'll be able to get rid of our hand and get some more cards. This ain't a bad hand for the reshuffle. The Drain can potentially find us a rare candy. The gym will find us another Grimmsnarl. Alright, so Shadow Bullet can be doing 180 to our Grimmsnarl and 30 damage somewhere else on the bench. Alright, they're going after the Morpeko. Let's start with Drayton first, see what we can get. We'll grab Scrafty, and we'll grab the Research. Because we do have cards in our hand that aren't that great. I'm going to use the gym here, see if we can get that Grimmsnarl back in hand. We're just going to do 180 and go after that Morpeko again. Now they're going to be able to take out our Grimmsnarl next turn, as well as do 30 damage somewhere. Alright, we still should have plenty of energy in our deck for our Grimmsnarl to come out. Just switching out the Grimmsnarl. Okay, that's pretty good. It does about the same damage right now. Quite sure that does 40. So 80, 160 plus 20, 180. So it does the same amount of damage as Grimmsnarl's attack, and they only take one. We'll only get 1 prize card from them. Rare candy into the other Grimmsnarl, which is good for them. If they put a lot of, I don't think they're going to put much more. I don't think they're going to put a lot of energy on this Morpeko because it's going to be KO'd. So probably on the Scrag. Well, 2 is going to go on Grimmsnarl, and then 3 on Scraggy, possibly. Yep. All right, playing their own Drayton. All right, Boss's Orders and more Pika. Yep, 180 to our Grimmsnarl, knocking it out, giving them 2 prize cards. I think we're going to bring up our... Yeah, we're going to bring up more Grim. We're going to play down our Grimmsnarl here, using its ability Punk Up to go get energy. Alright, so we need to put 2 on our Grimmsnarl, 2 on Scraggy, or Scrafty, and then 1 on Impotent. So everything in my hand right now I really don't want. So I'm just going to use Professor's Research to try to get a little bit of better options, which we kind of did. We're going to use the gym, and we're going to get another Morgrim. Just so we can evolve. So we have another one to use. We want it, but there's really no reason to. So we're just going to do the 180, and we're going to push the 30 damage to... They both got some good ones, so we'll just push it to the one that's already damaged. Alright, so we get another energy, which is alright. So they're bringing up the fresh Grimmsnarl here at 320 HP. Ours is still sitting at 320, so they'll be able to do 180. We'll do 180, and they'll take it out, unfortunately. But we do have Boss's Orders, so we might bring up this other Grimmsnarl, take it out, guarantee the 2 prize cards. But they are using their gym effect here for the stadium. They got themselves a Scrafty. It does 160 damage, which is pretty good. Yep, evolving their Scraggy into Scrafty. Alright, Shadow Bullet coming in for 180, hitting our Morpeko for 3. Alright, we got a lot of stuff to do here. This is currently doing, what, 140, which is not enough. We're going to use Boss's Order, and we're going to push up their damage Grimmsnarl. Then we're going to use Switch and put our Morpeko up, since they're going to take it out anyways. And then we're going to put an energy on Purloin. Let's use the Ultra Ball here, getting rid of a Scraggy and an Impotent. See if we can find our evolution, Leopard. There it is. Alright, we still have the Gym Search as well, so we might as well take it. Thin the deck out a little bit. We'll just grab another Purloin. I don't think we're going to deploy it, but we'll just have it in hand. Alright, so here we're going to use our Morpeko to take out the Grimmsnarl, which will guarantee us 2 prize cards. But they also are running the exact same deck we are, so they have Boss's Orders as well, which they could easily push up our Grimmsnarl and still take out the Morpeko. Alright, EXP on Scrafty. Using their gem to search. So they got a Morgrim, which they can evolve. So their Grimmsnarl should still be, yep, in the discard pile. Also roll. Now they got a Purloin. There's the Boss's Orders. As called, they're going to bring up our Grimmsnarl. They're going to take out the Grimmsnarl and the Morpeko. Pretty effective play right there. So we're going to bring up our... Let's bring up Purloin because it does only have a 1 energy retreat cost. I think at this point we need to use... Is there any... Let's put down the Purloin. We're going to use the Professor's Research to get the most amount of information and cards that we can get. Super Rod, which is great, because we can put that Grimmsnarl back in, as well as some energy back into our deck. Then we can use our Stadium here to get our Grimmsnarl back. Now we're going to retreat our Leopard for our Morgrim, and we're going to evolve into Grimmsnarl. We're going to grab whatever energy we have left in our deck, which is like just enough for 1 on him and then 2 on Purloin. And then we're going to hit him for 180, and we're going to do, let's do 30 to the Scrafty. How many Boss's Orders have they used? 1. Alright, so they still have another Boss's Orders, which could easily, they can bring up any of these and KO it and get the game. And I think we've used both of our, well, we've at least got rid of both of our Boss's Orders, yep. Alright, using the gym to search. They have 7 energy in the trash, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 1 more energy unaccounted for somewhere. So I do believe there's 14 energy in this deck. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. which means at this point, with only 1 energy left, but they have other options. Let's see what they got. Trainer-wise, they still have the Super Rod to replenish that. Alright, so they got Research and Morgrim. But they did use a supporter here, which means that they're not going to be able to use Boss's Order. So there's the last energy. So they're retreating. Okay. They're bringing up Scrafty. So it did 160, and then they dealt themselves some damage. So we have Energy Recycler here, which is great. We're going to be able to put energy back into the deck. Then we are going to use our Stadium here. Yeah, we'll grab Leopard. Put that on that. Then we're going to use our Stadium here, our Iono, to put everybody back into the deck. We're going to draw 2. They get 1. Alright, so we're going to put EXP share onto the Leopard. Grimmsnarl's going to hit. Let's do 30 to the Morpeko. Still not over, because all they need to do is get an energy source to get back into the deck. Then Morpeko could come up and take us out. So Morpeko comes out. It has a free retreat cost, so that might be the reason. Because they have 12 energy in the trash, or in their discard. 12, 13, 14. Professor's Research desperately digging for a way to get energy back into the deck. If they drew Super Rod, they could put the Grimmsnarl back in as well as 2 energy, and then use their Stadium. No, they already used their Stadium. There's still other options for them to get a Grimmsnarl back and get those energy to put them on Morpeko to finish us off. It's not over yet. All right, it's over. All right, GG opponent. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.